do there is an extension of what my regular cultural humility work has been. So on Wednesday night, so I've got programming that happens. I've got a spot, which is wonderful, which means that when I do my trainings, I've got a place where people can come in and do my trainings with me, and I can get diverse groups of people, because when we're doing cultural humility work, very often cultural humility, there's no such thing as cultural competency. That's a lie.
I've been lying for a long time.
Yes. Well, because and the example that I use two examples from Hartford. One is the idea of how you work with Puerto Rican kids. So we all understand that Puerto Rican children don't look adults in the eye because So when a young, see, right? So when you're talking to a Puerto Rican child, and the way that they're going to show their respect for you is that they won't look you in the eye because they shouldn't be looking adults. Okay, whatever.
Real. Okay.
Yeah, right. And that's cute, whatever. So I love to use that as an example. And then there's another story that I heard years ago, and again, so my father, I come from a family of people who've been working with human beings forever, and so my father shares a story of a family where they almost ended up losing their child to the system because there'd been whatever call had been made to DCYS at the time, but to the department saying there's something not okay.
And in Connecticut, that's the Department of Children and Families.
Yes, DCF, Department of Children and Families. So the social worker, who was a young white person, was in there interviewing the family, and so she's sitting in the living room with the dad, and the child, and this is a black family, an African-American family, an old school Southern African-American family. And the child comes into the room, and just as a rude kid, like, because they're a kid, and they sit down and they don't say anything to the social worker. So the father looks at the kid and says, did you sleep with her last night? Basically just meaning, do you know this person so well to be in space with them?
My mom used to say that.
Yeah, right? And there's no sexual connotation whatsoever to this, but the social worker who'd never heard this term before in her life heard some weird sexual something happening and brought that information back. Luckily, their supervisor was an older black person who said, no, that was
a call to respect.
That's all that is. But this person had learned, they learned these marks on this is what a black family does, this is what a white family does, that in no way got them to a place of really understanding, I am coming into this family with a whole lot of judgments that are based on my own stuff. And I need to figure out how to decrease my own stuff, put my own stuff to the side, acknowledge my own stuff because it's front and center, and then work through it that way. But how do I understand that I'm not right and perfect and they're wrong, but I am right and perfect for me, and that creates a view, a vision, a way of interacting with other people that might get it wrong. So there you go.
So this happens in your trainings, and you see how we went that way because there's so much.
Yes.
And so I invite you to, if you're out of Connecticut, call her, hire her, take her there so you can go through this more than I have, because I will sit at your trainings. I will sit at your trainings because there's so much to learn. So you open the center. It's not a nonprofit. You and I had a very, very nice talk about this because I was feeling lonely out there. And you were like, no, I did the same thing.
Well, it's because liberation work isn't respected. Status quo work is respected. We are allowed, in the world that we live in, we're supposed to say, there are problems, and I address them. But as a society, we will never, ever, ever get to the other side. Okay,
I'm gonna smack you. See, that's because I've been in that room.
That's the room that exists. That's the room. So as we say, forget the boxes. No, that is the box that's created. That's the box that we're all supposed to be comfortable in. Like, again, rather than saying blow up the table, we're all trying to say, how do I get a seat at the table?
That role play has 10 names, like instantly.
Right. But we have no desire to be at that table because that table is not going to bring us liberation. And so this whole way, and we're a capital city, so Hartford is unique as the other 49 capital cities in this country are unique. So let's get off of that part. But we've got all this land that's not taxable, right? Because of municipal buildings, because of churches, because all this stuff. And then you've got all these nonprofits. And we come in and we say, we are here to make the world a better place. In this city where they can't provide basics, like we're gonna have one warming center this winter. We can't take care of the basic needs of our residents. And those of us who say that we're going to make it better, well, the game plan, the road that we've all been given, the road that we all have been shown that this is the way to do it, is this nonprofit way that keeps our dollars from supporting the community in a community way. And there's that place of faith where I don't know exactly where my tax dollars go, but I know what they're supposed to do. And I'm not going to create a place where they're not there and just complain. I'm going to create a place where they're there so that when they're there, then I can complain. And I've got a way to complain. And so the faith, the trust, that whole place of figuring out in some way this will work. Nonprofits, you know what it's like to work for the grant. You know exactly what that's like, and you know what it means to go off and explain to the important people in the room how downtrodden and sad and pathetic your population is. And how, yes, those other people have had bad lives, but let me make it clear to you that my people are the absolute most downtrodden. And this is the way we can do it through your grant. And oh wait, your grant won't allow me to buy people food, but we all understand that. And anyone here who's ever had to write a grant that's going to support people understands exactly what I just said, where we know that human beings, we get together and we eat. This is what we do. I'm a melanated person. I'm sure that if I went to your house, you'd figure out a way to feed me. If you came to my house,
better eat.
I know. This is what we do. So we come together around food. We've got all these wonderful ways that we come together naturally as, and I keep saying melanated people because it's us. We come together and naturally can take care of ourselves. We look back over the last 200 years on these, in this land here, we've figured out how to take care of ourselves. And then the systems come in and say, this is the right way to care for your people. And all of a sudden the care looks different. And all of a sudden we're not caring for each other in the exact same way. So I'm working really hard and stepping out in the truth, stepping out in my truth, stepping out on faith, and understanding we can do this while paying taxes that are ridiculous and very, very expensive. We can do this without walking down the halls of money and saying, please give me money because we're the saddest people out there. My plea these days is, hey community, hey fam, give me money because we're daggone amazing, and if you give us the money, we can take care of us the way that we need to take care of us. So we have, one of the things that we do, our programming is, and our programming is coming as it makes sense, but every Wednesday night from 6 to 8, we have a community conversation. Ask me what those conversations are about. What people need to talk about. And that's the important thing, so that every Wednesday night, different human beings who are not me are coming in and bringing in thoughts and ideas and ways to share and discuss those thoughts and ideas in ways that aren't mine in that space. So that's when I say that this is like pushing me all the time in all the different ways. I've had folks in there who have views that I don't share. I'm building community. I don't believe that a community is a whole bunch of people who practice groupthink and figure out how to all say, we all agree that it, like the Nicene Creed is awesome, that's wonderful. When we get together at church, so for that church community, that's wonderful that we all have that. But then when we pull ourselves out, there's a whole lot of other ways of being. I don't want to live in a world where everyone, I'm ridiculous, I'm fun, I love me, I think I'm great. But if there was a world or a community filled with me's, it would never work. It can't work. So, right?
I'm just laughing because her energy, you got to spend some time with her because her energy is like powerful.
But yeah, that's so creating a space where diverse views and thoughts and ways of being can come together without the idea of us all saying, well, we can agree to disagree. Or what we all agree on is, no, we're going to come in, we're going to share discourse. I might think that what you have to say is completely ridiculous, but this is a space that says I'm going to listen to you and I'm going to respect it. I don't need to incorporate it. And there's that weird place of where we kind of think that if we get together, if I can articulate this beautifully, if I can bring the right information, if I can implore you with my eyes, if I can do this, then I can get you to believe what I believe, and then I've done what I'm here for. And what I'm doing is I'm going in and I'm trying to say, this is what I believe. It does not need to be a reality, but this is my reality. This is the reality from some other folks, and I need you to accept that and be fine with that. I don't need you to, again, I don't need you to implore me of everything. I don't need you to ask me to suppose anything. I don't need you to try to challenge me on my belief. Cute, whatever. I need you to understand that who I am and what I represent is real and valid, and who you are and what you represent is real and valid, and we can operate together without agreeing. We don't need, like, if my car needs to be fixed, I don't need you to understand that mulatto is the right word for people like me, okay? Whatever it is. Fix my car. That's great. I'm not going to tell you, how to fix my car.
You know why I'm cracking up? Because I'm not laughing. I'm beyond that. I'm cracking up. Because I've been there. I've been in the place where I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. How do you identify before I introduce you? Lydia, Lydia, Lily, because, you know, that's the name somewhere. Joe Picard, I think, gave it to me. There's words that you use that I am not familiar with. This is your first tongue, I'm assuming?
Yes.
English? It's not mine. But I would love to sit in your spot and learn a lot more. Where's your energy? Because this is exhausting work. Or am I wrong?
This is all I understand. Like, and that's that place of, this is my wheelhouse. This is what I do. There was a time in my life, when I tell you about my early 20s, I wish that this person could somehow show up in a dream for 20-year-old her. If she could have met this for a minute, this would have scared her, but it would have been wonderful to go there. But it's the place of, have you ever not used your voice?
Oh yeah.
And then watched it hurt people?
Oh yeah.
Realize that if you had shared.
Did you see Oh Yeah come out before you finished?
Oh yeah, yeah. So being in those places where, and again, that teen mother one is a big one, because I ended up, for a few years, I worked in a shelter for homeless pregnant parenting teen moms, right? And I sat in staff meetings where the appropriate way to be was to pretend that I was not someone who had been one of these girls, and sit there, a pain place, sitting there with other people who had no clue what these girls' reality was, and being in the dumb, ignorant place with them on purpose, because these are my coworkers. I'm the only brown person in this room. I'm the only person who didn't go to BU or one of these other Boston-based colleges, because this is where we are. So how do I legitimize myself? By agreeing with them. And who is that hurting? These children who I've said I am here for. So you're going to get ridiculous, kamora, because I believe my personal life mission is I exist to create space for families to love their children. If I sit back nicely and politely, it won't work. If my mission was to make sure that car engines can run on corn oil, then I might not feel the need to be as loud and passionate about humanity, because that wouldn't be what I'm here for. But I know how all these stupid little things get in the way of families being able to love their children. I've got my own personal life to draw from, and then a whole bunch of other folks who I've worked with. So if I shut up, I hurt people. Now I've taken that on myself, but that's what I believe. So I could be nice and quiet and figure out a different way to be.
Don't try it. This is my comfortable spot, because these are
uncomfortable.
uncomfortable.
I sit like this. I do this.
Don't try it.
I've been here.
And these are uncomfortable
I can't do
shoes.
those though. Those that
These are done from there to here, honey.
Those are kind of awesome, but this is what I can do.
No, I can't do this either. This is all fake. This is just for the camera. So we just know, totally fake. Like I'm telling you.
Okay.
I can't. My flip-flops or whatever it is around. We just have a couple of minutes. I want you back, because I think we have so much to learn from you. I have so much to learn from you. We do have a donation that you will leave with today. It's not much, but it's in my little world, and you will leave with it today, because I believe that you are changing the world, because God gave you that job, and thank God gave it to you, not to me. I appreciate the mercy.
You know, thank you for that, though. Thank you for that, because that's the place of where, and I bring up mechanics and stuff all the time because I value that work so much, but I can't do that. And there's this weird place where, you know, I am caustic. I get it. I'm completely caustic. But there's this weird place of, kamora, who do you think you are? I think I'm a vessel. That's who I am. I'm a vessel here to do what I'm here to do. That's all it is.
God, I don't have enough time with you. You got a stupid meeting to go to. Sorry,
I got a meeting
folks.
to go to too.
You got stuff to do, but I just want to ask you a couple of questions that I ask mostly all of my guests.
Okay.
If you had the magic wand, you only get one. People try to abuse this magic wand, and the instructions are always the same. You can only have one. You have the magic wand, the universe, God, whatever it is people call it, says you got one wish. Where would you spend it? What would it be?
Ooh. I don't.
You can't make me a frog, by the way.
No, I will not make you a frog. But this is where the wannabe God part comes in, right? This is where because I want to say that I want to open up the catacombs underneath the Vatican. Honestly, I believe that there's so much truth under, like, this is a whole other conversation. But I want to say, I just want to open up all of the information that the Catholic Church is literally sitting on top of. But that's because in my beautiful mind where I'm playing with this right now, once that information is released, then everyone will jump on it and find ultimate truths. But that's probably not going to happen.
I'm so blessed that I belong to St. Patrick, St. Anthony, and I've seen their mercy and the Franciscan order, and I'm so blessed. So if you're finding, looking for a place, everybody's welcome. The dress code is wear it and go. So that was a good one, but you got to use that one today, right now. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Nice try though.
I tried. Can I get rid of the Fed? Can I destroy capitalism? I would destroy capitalism. Yes.
And the benefit would be?
The benefit would be we would be on a bit more of an equal playing field. And when we think about liberating our people, and this is again, so we talked about nonprofits a little bit, but then we could think about liberating our people without thinking about money. And there's been a frustrating place. So I've been on many work groups and planning groups and things, all these wonderful things. And it just sucks to be in a room where, as we're talking about liberating people, dollars have to figure into it. And all of a sudden, we're not talking about liberation, we're talking about skating. We're talking about status quo. We're talking about ways to make it a little bit better for a little bit of time as we can. But when we're thinking about humanity and how we care for humanity, a dollar should not be a part of that conversation. So we're talking about healthcare in this country. Why in the heck are we talking about how much it costs to provide chemotherapy to people? Why are we talking about the cost of an EpiPen? Why does an EpiPen have a cost? And why? It's so cute that there are memes telling me that it will cost me this much in Canada and this much in Texas and this much here, but that should not be part of the conversation. The conversation should be, how do we teach a 5-year-old how to administer his own EpiPen? Which might mean that 5-year-old might waste or break one. Like, the conversations that we have about humanity offend me because they involve us putting it in monetary ways. So Stan McCauley, who's running for mayor in the city of Hartford right now, and this is a Stan thing where, you know, people give you words and you're like, ooh, wow. Stan was at the center, and we were talking about education, we were talking about black folks and such, and he said, they don't need to pick the cotton if you are the cotton.
Oh, we gotta close. We gotta close because we need like 3 hours with you. Will you come back?
Of course I will. Will you come visit me?
Yeah, will you let us record a show then?
Yes.
In my belief, may God bless you, always cover you, always cover you. Call out when you need us, and always when you have food, please.
Yes.
Please learn from each other. Please invite each other to learn. Take care of our kids because they are our kids, no matter where they're born. Our kid, your village is my village, is one village at the end of the day. Thank you. Gracias.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. See you soon, guys. Peace.
Thank you so much. Whew. Yeah.
No, you gotta come back. It don't work that way.
I've got to run over. Yeah, we didn't talk about privilege.